welcome to Grace Creatives Online Session 1. My name is Desiree and I'm the director of Grace. We are a nonprofit that serves trafficked, exploited, and at-risk youth ages 12 to 21 in San Diego. And Grace Creatives is a program that we do where we facilitate therapeutic art. We create a safe place to connect and create. And today what we're going to be doing is making a color tree. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this. This is my color tree that is all done. And on this video instruction, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to make your own color tree at home. For those of you that got kits at your house, you should have everything that you need. And for those of you who might be doing this project at home, I'll give you some ideas for some different things that you can use depending on the materials that you have. So first of all, what I've got over here is I've got some Mod Podge. If you don't have Mod Podge specifically, you can also use Elmer's glue, any kind of adhesive. I have some black paint here that I'm going to use for the trunk of my tree. I have about 30 different colors of little squares of tissue paper. They're scattered all over the table here. I just got these on Amazon.com. Something that I learned is there's actually bleeding and non-bleeding tissue paper. So the original project that I was going to do required bleeding tissue paper, but this is non-bleeding tissue paper, so just a little tidbit for people who are artsy, and I learned that, so you always learn new things when you're doing new projects. But and these squares, they're 2 by 2. If all you have is 1 by 1, that's fine. But just another variation for this, if you have tissue paper from old gifts at home, that can work. You can just cut it up. It doesn't even need to be in perfect squares, but just in little sections. So moving over to this side, I have, you can't really see, but I'll show you, I have a pile of buttons here, just all kinds of different shapes and sizes of buttons. Again, just ordered a random kind of assortment of buttons on Amazon. I've got a plate here that I'll be using for my Mod Podge as well as my paint. And then I have 2 different size paintbrushes. I actually ended up using 3, so I'm probably going to have a 3rd paintbrush as well that I'll grab right here. But I've got kind of a wide brush for the first part of the project. I've got a little bit of a more thin straight edge brush, and then I've got a really thin pointy precision paintbrush here. And then of course I have my water cup and then a napkin so I can dab my paintbrushes. So, oh, and I also have a canvas. So I'm just using, it's just a 8 by 10 Quality Artist canvas panel. You can use like a thicker canvas if you want, whatever kind of canvas that you have. And actually today, since I have this lying around the office, I'm actually going to recycle an old canvas from an art project that I did before, because art materials are sometimes kind of expensive, so it's always good to recycle if you have older things. The first part of this project is fairly simple. Basically all you're going to do is you're going to take your Mod Podge or your Elmer's glue, and you're just going to pour a small portion, not too much. You might end up having to add a little bit more later, but just kind of pour a little bit on your plate here, or if you have a paint, if you have a bowl or whatever you can use for a paint palette is completely fine. But what you're going to do here, there's really no rhyme or reason to this. If you want to create a background that has certain colors, you might only want to stick with certain colors. If you wanted to do all blues and greens or all purples or all even one color, you can do that. I'm going to choose to just do all kinds of different colors because it's a color tree. But yeah, you just take the tissue paper, put it down on the canvas like so, and then you literally just take your brush and you just paint it on. I like to take a little bit of the Mod Podge or Elmer's glue and then dip it in water just to kind of water it down a little bit. I think the tissue paper sticks a little bit better when you do that. So again, I'm just taking my brush, I'm just dipping it in the water and then just kind of painting over the top. So yeah, there's a little bit of a background here from a previous painting that I did, but I think it might end up being kind of cool because it kind of shows through a little bit. And if you use too much, the tissue paper might kind of crinkle up. Honestly, it's not really a huge deal because by the time this whole thing is covered, you really won't be able to tell, and you might have like multiple layers. So yeah, once you have all of that laid out, you can just start painting these tissue paper pieces to your canvas. One other thing to quickly go over is the edges. So obviously, since you're putting these on completely randomly, they might end up sticking up over the edge a little bit like that, which is totally fine. All you do is you just take your brush and kind of just paint it over the edge like that. So just take your brush with the Mod Podge or glue and just kind of paint it over the top like that, just until it's flat on the surface. So yeah, so just spend a few minutes doing this. Gonna take a little pause here while I do all my canvas, and then I'll come back and give you the next step. Well, I am getting close to finishing up, but just wanted to say that you might be noticing that some of your tissue paper breaks off. So I was going to give just a couple of tips. One, if you hold your canvas underneath like this, then you don't have to like touch the sides because you'll notice that it dries pretty quickly. So if you touch it, the tissue paper might break. If it does break, then you can just put another piece just right over the top of it. No big deal. And the other thing I was going to say is that use more water. The water really helps the tissue paper go down first and kind of like stick. You really don't need that much glue. So yeah, I just wanted to give that little piece of advice. And again, while we're wrapping up here, part of what we want to do with these online sessions is just educate the public in terms of human trafficking, because it is a huge issue in San Diego specifically. It's an $810 million underground economy, with the average age of entry being 16 years old. In a large way, the traffickers nowadays recruit these young victims is online through social media. So a few of the popular social media platforms nowadays for teens are Snapchat. I think Instagram is not quite as popular anymore, but of course we have Facebook. And so just wanted to give a couple of tips for online safety, because we know that you all are going to be using social media. We can't necessarily stop that, but if you are going to use it, we want to just give you some tips for staying safe. So one thing is, don't ever accept a friend request from someone that you don't know. If you haven't met them in person, if they are older than you, just don't accept them. I get friend requests a lot from people that I don't know, and even if it's kind of questionable, like if I've only met them once and I don't really know who they are, I usually don't accept them. And that's just a safety thing, because we are vulnerable, and you just can't trust everyone these days. So that's my first safety tip, is just not to accept anyone as your friend just because they want to talk to you, just because they want to be your friend. doesn't mean that you have to talk to them. So even if they're cute and handsome or attractive, we know that can be tempting, but as much as possible, don't accept friends that you don't know. The next safety tip that I have is that if you ever go out with anyone, whether it be a friend or a date or anything like that, always make sure that there's someone out there that knows where you are. So this is just a practice that I started in my life. If I'm going to meet up with someone that might be kind of new in my life, maybe I trust them, maybe I don't fully know who they are, I'll always meet up in a public place, and I will always tell someone else, like my roommate or my mom, where I'm going to be going. And I also avoid situations where I'm one-on-one with someone that I don't necessarily trust or know that well. So those are just a couple of tips that hopefully will keep you more safe as you go online and you browse. Again, just keep in mind that not everyone can be trusted and not everyone's safe. And even if you think it's a cute boy or whatever, just resist that temptation. Keep yourself safe. Just know that if you're online and someone has a picture up of themselves, it might not necessarily be them. So err on the side of caution, and remember that people are recruited every day on social media into sex trafficking. It's a real thing. So just wanted to give you that safety tip, and we'll be back in a minute with the next step. So I hope that your canvas is dry. Mine is mostly dry. There's a little bit of moisture still right here, but I'm not too concerned about it. I am ready to paint my tree. So what you're going to want to do for the next step, just grab some black acrylic paint and just squeeze a little bit here onto, if you have a paint palette or a plate. Don't really need that much to start. You can always get more. I always put a little bit less than what I usually need because I like to conserve paint and not be wasteful. So now I'm going to take my one of my smaller, like more precision paint brushes, and I'm just going to paint. I'm not going to really overthink it, but I'm just going to kind of do, and just so you guys can see a little bit of what I'm doing here, but I'm just going to, or I'll put it this way, start over here and just kind of put a little bit of a branch down. So this is going to obviously turn into a tree, but when you're first kind of working on it, you don't really need to overthink it too much. So you're going to kind of fill it in. Just do kind of some of these more broad looking strokes just to kind of get the shape of your tree. And then from there, you're just going to kind of take your paintbrush and just start filling in the branches. Obviously the branches are going to get a little bit wider as they go down to the base. So you want them to be like a little bit thin up top, and then obviously as you work your way down, you might want to make it a little bit more broad so that it's looking more like a tree trunk. And you can add little like offshoots. You guys have all seen trees that kind of like branch and grow. So like on the top right here on mine, I just added a little branch that went out. But again, just the big thing right here is just not to overthink it. I do that a lot with my art. I overthink it and forget to just like have fun. Don't be too critical of yourself, because art is for just zoning out and taking care of yourself and just having like peaceful, like meditation time. I mean, lots of reasons, but yeah, it's just important to not beat yourself up. I know we all have a tendency of doing that, but so yeah, just spend some time kind of filling in your tree branches. My section right here is coming along pretty nicely, and we'll come back for the final step. So now that you have your tree painted, I'm going to show you mine and what it looks like. Looks a little bit different than my first one. I did like a middle tree trunk, whereas this one I kind of did it coming from the side. But it's fun when they're different. So when you're done with that, I'm just going to give you the final step, but you're just going to need some Elmer's glue, just school glue. If you have a hot glue gun, that actually works even better and is the best, but I'm assuming that a lot of people won't. I did use hot glue gun for my last one, but I'm just going to use this regular glue because it works. Just takes a little while longer to dry. But yeah, you're just going to take the glue and then just an assortment of buttons that I showed you earlier, but all different like shapes and sizes of buttons here. And you're just going to take the buttons and just glue them in little patterns all along the branches. So I'm going to try to hold this up so you guys can kind of see, but might have to put it down because I'll probably fall off the canvas. But yeah, just put a little dab of glue, set the button right over the top of that, like so, and then just keep adding it. I like to do like you can see from this one that I did little clusters. So like right here I have like a cluster of four, did like 2 up there. You can kind of like spread them out however you want. But yeah, that's kind of the final step, is that you'll just glue all of the little buttons. And then I chose on this one, I wanted some words in my tree trunk, so I just painted Grow in Color. If you have some acrylic paints at home, you can write something like that, or just a word or phrase or something that's meaningful to you. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole project. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with us and being a part of Grace Creatives. We hope that you were able to make a safe space at home. We hope that you are feeling connected at this time with us. You're more than welcome to reach out at any time. Our website is www.girlsrisingabove.org, and you can also reach us at 619-508-2747. We're happy to be there for you to talk through any issues or questions or concerns that you have, as well as offer other services. We do have a food pantry as well, where we are delivering food to those in need. So give us a call, and hopefully you tune in for our next Grace Creative session as well. Blessings, and we'll see you